15 minutes?
Yeah,
Okay.
not that long. Yeah.
I don't think glasses work, right? No.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Let's Bubbl podcast, where we explore the creators and event organizers who are creating communities, meaningful communities around the world. I'm here today with Brad Nye, who is the founder of Regenworld, who is actually one of my first ever Bubbl event collaborators.
Nice.
And I met him we met at Tulum Crypto Fest, if I'm not mistaken. And we met him at Regenworld, and we supported Regenworld last year, and we're really excited to report it this year. But enough from me. Brad, over to you. Welcome to Let's Bubbl podcast.
Thanks.
And
happy to be in the corporate offices of Bubbl.
Corporate.
And Hayley is an activator, and she is she's one of those entrepreneurs that's tenacious. And what's exciting about what you're building is, what did I write you last night? That you're building a culture that's responding to the needs of your audience. Okay. So really over time, a good entrepreneur is always listening and always taking feedback from the efforts you're making. And over time, as Bubbl evolves, people will start to gravitate towards this kind of experience, right? Right now they do it without Bubbl.
Right.
once they know Bubbl exists.
Yes.
But my journey is, I've been doing events for, I hate to say 40 years, but I'm up there in age. And I love bringing people together. It's my life purpose. And I get so much joy out of seeing the connections that people make from my conferences and my events. I like to say I'm not just producing events, I'm building intentional trust networks. And Bubbl is one of those vehicles that can deepen the experience for people at an event, so that what's memorable about an event is not the content, it's the connections that people make. That's what they take with them. Yeah. And so it's, we use content as an excuse for people to get together. Yeah. But it really is the people and the connections and the depth of the connections, right? I like to say people meet at our events and they go on to create ideas that turn into businesses down the road. So what we're doing by creating this level of intimacy is we're actually becoming an incubator of potential ideas and ventures. Yeah. Because when people come together, what do they talk about? They talk about, I'm doing this, or we could do together. Yeah. And they find levels of collaboration that they didn't know existed. Yeah. And especially if they're staying in the same house together, there's a level of intimacy that creates for people as well. And it's about time. At a conference, sometimes you're running around, you're so busy, you don't even have time to deepen a connection. But if you're staying with people, if you're staying with them for 3 days or 4 days or a week. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you get it. It's funny. So Regenworld, though, what I love about Regenworld and what you do, it is actually a very community. So not all events, I think, actually most events could fit Bubbl, but not all events are almost purpose built for Bubbl. Yeah. I think Regenworld is, just to share with the audience, Regenworld, when I went this year, it was just this wonderful community event held in a property that was perfect for it. I thought, the way you had the backyard and where you had the little stalls set up, almost like a village fair. It felt like, it was like a village. It really was a village. And that's kind of the ethos and what we're trying to build at Bubbl is the village aspect. Maybe you want to tell us a little bit about two things. One, what led you to Regenworld? And I know you're pretty long-term burner, as am I. Yeah. So Burning Man has an influence on my culture and probably on Regenworld. 100%. Yeah. And then what you used to do before, and then what led you to Regenworld? Maybe tell us a bit about that. Yeah. Well, I'm a 15-year burner, and I helped build a camp. So my ethos is definitely informed by the Burning Man culture. My events now, I was doing an event called Tribalize for 7 years about building regenerative communities. And so people who had ideas for communities in Costa Rica and Mexico and Portugal, all over the world, would come to our conferences, learn, and connect with others. The community of community builders is a little niche. So I wanted to grow bigger, and that's where Regenworld came. So we did our first event last year in Austin. We had over 500 people come to the very, very first one. And so we're getting ready for Regenworld 26 now, which will be next March 15th through the 22nd. And so now we have, Hayley came in at sort of the last minute and it was a little hectic. So next year we have more time to help organize people. It's a 7-day event, and it's not a camping festival, and we don't have housing. So we really need to rely upon the services of Bubbl, or put it on people to take care of their own housing and transportation. So with Bubbl, it's a platform that allows us to help people get organized, allow people to set up transportation with one another, allow people to find like-mindedness. So it really works to deepen and accentuate some of the value we're trying to create for our attendees. And so we're doing it on a 75-acre ranch. But
that'll be awesome.
But if it's
near Austin, right
outside of downtown Austin, I don't want to make it a camping festival, because it changes the dynamic of how people kind of connect and relate to each other. I want people to be in a business mode.
Yeah, and I guess if they're like in camp mode,
if they're in flip flops and shorts and stuff.
Yeah.
So for me,
this is just our new
the level, how people meet literally determines the level of trust that relationship is infused with. And if we do our job right, we've created lifetime partnerships, lifetime friendships, even marriages. I pride myself. Some of my events have created some beautiful marriages.
Well, I met you in a bubble, so in the same way, the housing, the events, I get
there
it.
You go.
Because you're a connector, like that's
right.
Really the thing.
And so Bubbl solves so many of my challenges that I don't really have time or staff to handle. So I'm really grateful for this. And then we have sponsors, and Hayley and I are also looking at how do we bring sponsors into these shared housing experiences for people. Because once again, experiential marketing is one of the best corporate sponsorship methodologies right now. The experiences people have, corporations, brands put themselves as part of, right? So we're working on and
I'd argue community building in general. Like I'm targeting with what I'm doing with Bubbl, like I'm either collaborating with event organizers like you, or I'm going to be the bigger events where, it's too, I can't afford a multi-7-figure sponsorship for, even though I help their event. I won't name any names, but for those type of events, which is crazy because they're the ones that actually need the housing help, some of them are just like outright, they're going to come to me eventually. But anyway, those events, I'm actually going to be going to brands and saying, okay, do you want to create your own little Bubbl village? Because we actually can give them an activation that's immersive and multi-day at a very big event. Like let's use Web Summit as an example, where they may not be interested to work with us, but we can obviously really give their attendees a great stay experience, even if they're not interested in giving it to them, so.
One of the other ways that Bubbl can kind of help people self-organize is through topics.
Yes.
People who are interested in agriculture, people who are interested in energy, people who are interested in bioregional economics. They can then stay in houses with these other people, and they have a lot more to talk about.
Well, we can set up how I think we should do it, and you're spot on. Like I think you've got 500 people coming, is that right?
At least.
Yeah. So I definitely think we can structure the bubbles. Like we can recommend houses, and we can actually structure. I would argue we can do houses close to each other or even next to each other maybe, but we can do them with those themes, whatever the themes are. Like I think that's really makes a lot of sense.
Truly.
Yeah.
And then the other event that we're doing next year, 2026, is called The Gathering US or United States. And it's groups become camps. This is a camping event, but some people will not want to camp.
And is it like camps in the same concept of Burning Man?
Very similar.
For how long?
Very similar. For another week. It's another week. I'm about doing week-long events now where people can really drop into a culture and stay in the environment rather than just come in and out quickly.
And are people coming for the time? Because I know last year, I remember you saying that you wanted people to come and stay for multiple days.
They didn't, and because they don't know what's there. But we're programming that whole week, and the gathering is programmed for the whole week.
Your Regenworld, when I was there, was very full. Like the programming was legit. Yeah. There was a lot of really great programming.
Yeah, we have masterminds.
If anything, I think as an event organizer, for someone who doesn't do it, I think you don't want to have too much at the same time, because it clashes, I want to be able to know I got most of the stuff.
Right.
Just saying.
Well, that would be like saying at Burning Man,
Yeah.
we only want to do half the events.
I know.
There's something there for everyone.
Well, and I guess too at Burning Man, you have to be all about spontaneity, and you can't have FOMO, because otherwise you wouldn't live your life, right?
Well, and not everybody's interested in agriculture. Not everybody's interested in certain topics. So, you're going to go where you're drawn.
So with Regenworld, like, let's understand. So my understanding is it is regenerative farming, but it's not just that.
No.
Community and other things, right?
If you remember the sustainability movement, sustainability entered the corporate world across all different business categories. That's the same thing that's happening with regeneration. Regeneration is the next step beyond sustainability. Regeneration means that you are creating self-perpetuating abundance rather than extraction, or in sustainability, staying even in status quo.
Yes.
And regeneration in governance is about creating circular, decision making. Yeah, bioregional. It's about creating circular economies. Energy, solar is an example of regenerative technology, where the sun is constantly, proliferating.
I guess tourism. There's
tourism. There's there's retreat centers all over the world that are calling themselves regenerative travel destinations.
Is that because they don't take from the community as much as
they are practicing regenerative techniques in their business models? So that's what we're trying to teach. This isn't a conference about farming. It's a conference about regenerative practices and values and principles that are taken in through the business categories, whatever they are. Yeah. And some are a little bit more involved.
You should do a tourism angle. Have you done a tourism vertical? You should do that.
I'm in discussions with an organization that does regenerative travel agency. They're a regenerative travel agency.
Interesting.
And
I'm interested in that from a Bubbl
and so that is an actual interesting category. We didn't have content for that last year, but it is on our list today to do this year.
I think because people, I would argue, especially tourism, people are looking, sorry, I'm only talking about tourism because I do read a lot about it. Like, people are looking for more authentic experiences, and those tend to come from regenerative practices, I think, than from the package tour sort of scenario, maybe. Although I must admit, you still want to go see the Great Pyramids, because they are still the Great Pyramids, even if they are full of tourists. Yeah.
So we're programming for a large cross section of people and from different business categories, which is one of the ways that we can help people meet people in their categories. And also, one of the reasons we do this is to create the cross-disciplinary possibilities. Because if you just know a bunch of people in one category, you're building a vision for, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that come to Regenworld. Yes. There's a lot of investors that come. We have a venture showcase as well.
Okay. Tell us about that. A lot of people who want to learn about how they can get investors for their regenerative projects.
We have a process that we bring people through. If you have an idea, you can apply to be a part of the showcase, and then we bring investors in, and we also help market those ideas. But from the standpoint of our sponsors, I really want to focus on that this year, is how do we create some additional value for our sponsors? And I know you would like to see some more revenue coming in as well. So how do we build something that takes our sponsorship model, which is creating relationships for our sponsors with the attendees to let them make sure they know about what the sponsor does, but also how do we take that into the future? How do we build relationships for these sponsors? And I think that's where the sponsor can become part of the Bubbl housing experience.
I also think what's interesting about your thing is, because you do multiple events, you probably have cross-fertilization with those, and I'm sure you do partnerships with other events, do you, as well? Like the Tulum Crypto Fest, I thought was interesting last year. I don't know if there's any crossover. Well, there must have been with the events.
Years ago, we did an add-on to the Pioneers Conference in Marin County, for instance. I'm not doing that yet. Once we've established our brand, it might be nice to go to other conferences and create some content for them.
Now, question about art. I forget last year. Did you have artists? You did have musicians, and you had...
we had a couple visual artists portray their work.
Yeah. Didn't you have a band play?
We had a lot of music.
You had music. You had a lot of music. I remember now.
Sound healer, DJ from Mexico City.
That's right.
We had a lot of local DJs and a lot of local musicians.
Yeah. Did you put on a full moon as well?
We had a full
moon show.
No, there was an equinox. There was a lunar eclipse.
Yeah, I think he actually programmed a lunar eclipse. That's pretty good.
I actually made that happen.
I remember it was because it was really cold and we had our fur coats on from
well, the
people wearing
ranch,
those
we're
fur
doing
coats.
this Regenworld 26 on our 75-acre ranch. And every year the guy does a big fundraiser for his nonprofit on the March equinox, right? March 21st.
Right.
And he does a huge burn. He
Does he?
burns all his
Neat.
organic matter. So it's
That's
like this
cool.
giant fire that,
Is that going to be during it?
yeah,
Okay,
that's
great.
going to be part of it.
So is it also programmed to be passed straight after South by Southwest?
It's
or
overlapping with South
it
by
overlaps?
Southwest. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, everyone, just for the record, yes, it's worthwhile going to a Bubbl. Stay in your South by Southwest Bubbl and then move over to your Regenworld Bubbl if you like.
Well, or stay in both.
Or, yeah, that's what I mean, stay in both. Yeah.
For
both.
You know, we are, a lot of people don't know what regeneration is. If you're dying to understand what regeneration is, watch the movie Common Ground, which is on Amazon now. It's a beautiful documentary about a lot about regenerative agriculture, but the principles of regeneration are discussed very, very much so. And it's an early form of the movement, but
I saw it.
It's going to be
huge.
I
saw a screening of it at South by last year.
Well, I'm talking about the regenerative movement in general. It's going to be a very, very large movement. Yeah. And we're kind of at the...
What age category are people in, do you think?
Oh, 20s to 50s for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, there's more and more jobs coming out. There's many thought leadership organizations like Regenworld. We're more of a convener, not an expert in our particular regenerative practices. We convene the experts. We put them on stage. We're creating media where we interview all these thought leaders.
And some of these people are in government, are they? Do these people go to WEF? Are they those sorts of people, or are they?
No, this is a little bit of the, you know, the counter. Even counter to the climate change narrative that's happening right now. Right. Regeneration is a grassroots, bottom up movement. It's not a government corporate movement.
Interesting.
And a lot of the climate narrative is definitely, you know, talking about changing and shifting, you know, government policies and companies that are the ones that are kind of impacting the environment negatively.
Yeah.
So regenerative practices are really, you know, they're the indigenous practices. There's a nature intelligence to regenerative practices. And so those are the ones that are kind of the new paradigm.
Well, I will say one thing, just I'm not an expert or a commenter on this at all, but looking from the outside in, now I think regenerative practices are, but too slowly, but getting more listened to, or they're getting more
noticed. More noticed.
And I'll give you the example, the fires in Australia, the bushfires we had. You know, now they're recognizing that if we had have managed the land like the ancestors did, like the indigenous did, the Aborigines, then, you know, maybe we wouldn't have had such big fires because we would have managed how they do controlled burning. Right. And I believe they're actually implementing that and the government's actually listening. And I think that's how, from what I understand, because they were just so devastating. And I don't know if that's happening here. It probably is, but I mean, everywhere. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
An example. It's good.
There's regeneration is also fostering the transition to bioregional economies. You know, we have nation states, we have states, we have local municipalities, but bioregions are literally how the world works, right? There's a whole economic reality around the bioregions. And so there's a lot of people in this movement that are creating these circular economies or closed loop economies. You know, people, you know, we've got a global food system right now. We got stuff that gets shipped from China here, and it's just not, it's breaking down in this world. And so we need to start creating food where our people live, not shipping it around the world. And it's kind of, and so that's the whole bioregional economy is looking at the actual benefits and values, attributes of a bioregion, and taking advantage of the stakeholders that are in that bioregion and creating collaborative opportunities for them to all work together. And that's missing in a world that's capitalistic, siloed, and separate.
Can I ask you just one last question? Where in Europe is your counterparts? Do you have
Portugal?
Counterparts?
A lot of people in Portugal. Portugal
Okay,
is kind of one of the more evolved countries for this bioregional and communal.
So not like Berlin or Germany or maybe Sweden. Like I just would have thought the Scandos.
Switzerland.
Switzerland. Okay.
Switzerland has a center called Interlake that's now kind of a regenerative thought leadership community.
Mm-hmm.
It's Portugal is where a lot of it's centered,
Interesting.
and it's it's populating in Spain and Italy and
I'd argue
other
California is a leader. Would you say, or is it like is it California or
yeah,
is it
I mean,
like
there's
Mexico?
California, Oregon, Washington, Mexico, Costa Rica, Guatemala. Yeah, these communities are popping up all over the place, and there's thought leadership going on anywhere and everywhere right now.
Yeah,
it's a movement. Jump on.
it's a
Be
movement.
a part of it. Be a part of it.
So, yeah, with that in mind, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience on Let's Bubbl?
Well, come to Regenworld 26 next March in Austin and join a bubble.
And I'm join a bubble. And I'm just going to, because I'm just a bit slow here, just do one last running down. I have to do it like this because I don't have a producer here today. So this is what Regenworld is about. There's going to be a bunch of we're going to put more content on here, but
Beautiful.
Really interesting houses for you to join. And I'll be there and Brad will be there. And thank you, everyone. And thanks, Brad. Thanks very much for your time.
Hope to see you. Thank you, Hayley.
Thank you. Oh, I pressed. No, I stopped the share. Okay, stop. Sorry.